Hello and welcome to the Mark Tucker YouTube channel. This is the Copperopolis Road Race and maybe the 40th annual. You can see this is the course map. It's about 22 miles a lap. They have us doing 3 laps. You can see the climbing there. Pretty good climb through the feed zone, a little kicker, and then a big old scary bumpy descent. So here we are, second lap, almost to the top. Turn the GoPros on. I figured I'd get a little, maybe an hour of battery out of them, but we're just kind of rolling over that top section here on the second lap, getting ready to do our descent, and then to start our third and final lap. This is the 35 plus, 45 plus, category 1, 2, 3, and man, it was a hard race. I started, I don't know, 8:30 in the morning. So it wasn't super hot to begin with, but it got hot, it was windy, and I was driving the pace pretty hard on those climbs. But you see Thirsty Bear represented here. Man, the first time I did this descent, I'd never seen the course before. Here's my teammate George, the green Lactico bottles right there, kind of came into frame. So George hung through, and I think he got popped, he said, on the climb on the third lap. He yelled Mark, and I thought he meant to like go, because I was kind of leading the front of the climb. But I think he really wanted me to slow down, but he didn't want to yell it out loud. So this field kind of broke apart here in a little bit, but we're, I think, for the most part together. Some guys got, I think, popped off on that first climb on the first lap, but we're doing pretty good here. So yeah, that descent coming up. These GoPro cameras have really good image stabilization. You notice that if you ever, have a mounted to your bike and you get out of the saddle to sprint, and it really stabilizes that side to side action. Well, this thing up here is so dang bumpy and fast. I started first on the descent on the first lap, and I got to the bottom, and I was last. I just I didn't know the course. I didn't know if there were any turns that I needed to slow down for. There's some kind of blind risers, that kind of stuff, and just super bumpy. But I threw caution to the wind on the second lap descent coming up here, and then the third lap as well. So I figured it's going to hurt just as bad falling at 38 miles an hour as it is at 48 or whatever, however crazy fast we're going. So this guy in front of me, I think his name is Steven, number 346. I kind of thought he looked like maybe Tyler Yonke Jr. He's like a younger, fitter version of Tyler Yonke, and on the same team. So that's probably a compliment to you, Tyler. Maybe not so much to, I think, Steven, the 35 guy. And then the other guy, Ariel, on the Thirsty Bear team, the big curly hair and the Stars and Stripes full kit. I think he won the Masters Road Race last time we had it was 2019. So those are the two kind of 35 plus contenders. They combined us. We're going to get scored separate. Their field was so small in numbers, it just made more sense, and to race them with the 45s. So there's that last little kind of kicker coming up. You can see the lake off in the distance. We went around that lake. That was the map I showed you at the beginning. Not like the greatest lake in the world, but I don't know, it was cool. It was just dry. I bet this is really, more scenic and beautiful probably in the spring. It'd be all green, but June, what was it, June 5th, it was well on the dry side. So I think you kind of come through here, and then it kind of does that little kick up before the descent. So you got Thirsty Bears represented. You got, it looks like Cortex behind me. Let's see, Touchstone. You can see the red jersey there in the rear view. I think that's either Jeremy or Mike Sayers. I think it's Jeremy. But I'm kind of driving the pace up this hill. Still feeling pretty good. I felt really good on the climbs, which I don't know. Some people probably didn't care for that, but I was trying to, stretch the elastic, get the snap, get a selection, reduce field, improve your odds, etc. So this is the last little drag. You can kind of see, I think when you make this little right curve here, might be up on the horizon is the top and then the descent. So we're probably, I'm going to guess it, 300 meters from the top. Yeah, it's Jeremy, touchstone guy. He's got his world champion bands. I think he got that track. He's a track guy too. Or on the track, I guess it is. But there were some thirsty bears in this one. You can see, I think that's Jason in the light blue Trek there. Frame set. And so yeah, there's the horizon. I think that's kind of the top, and so you kind of, here you ramp it up on this, so kind of string out a little bit for the descent, so you're not banging bars going down this stupid bumpy thing. And the road is just terrible on the descent. I mean, it's a miracle my GoPros didn't fall off my bike, which, kudos to me. Weight penalty, right? Running GoPros front and rear on kind of a climby, punchy road race like this. I don't know that footage exists of this descent because, like I said, it's so stupid bumpy. Like, I'm the only one dumb enough to think GoPros are going to actually not fall off my bike. I mean, I thought wheels would explode. I ran the Hyper 50s, the wind space, and man, talk about putting wheels through the paces. I should have ran maybe a little wider tire. I ran IRC Pro Light 25s, and definitely tested the outer limits of those. A lot of guys flatted, not a lot, fair number. You see some guys walking along the course and flatten. But I'm not going to get spit out the back on this descent. Dang it. Did that the first lap. So, and it kind of levels off a little bit. You get like 50 yards of good pavement, and then, and I guess the road is in better condition this year than other years. This is the first time I'd ever seen this course, so you can imagine, I mean, the descent on that first lap, like I'd never seen it before. It was scary. So here we got some good pavement, and this is like, I think is this a 5-mile descent back down, kind of to the start finish line. The finish line was actually back from the start line. I'll point it out when we come up to it. But then you get on this stuff, and there's potholes, there's dirt showing through. You're just kind of like a Ewok on Return of the Jedi buzzing through the forest, but it's just kind of a bumpy road. And I'm obviously going fast enough, no one's passing me, which is, I think that's a good thing. And this little blind little thing here, I didn't know how sharp this was coming over it the first time. And you can pretty much take this descent without touching brakes. There was a couple corners where I'm like, I'm going to slow down on this one. Just because I didn't know, you're going to hold a line when your bike's bouncing off the road. But, I mean, it felt like you're, if you're skiing, you're going through a mogul field without turning. You're just kind of just in a controlled free fall, that occasionally skipping off the road with your little 25 millimeter IRC Pro Light tires, hoping they don't flat out. Because we're going flat out here. This was This is fast. This is not like sped up. This is how fast we're going. I got a Pete's guy sitting on here, and I'm just saying, screw it. Let's just run them. And run them we did. Little camera guy there. Ah, smooth pavement. But not for long, sucker. Then it's maybe to get a nice smooth stretch here. Kind of went into some little rollers. So I had it. I loaded the course. I made a ride with GPS route with 3 laps to the start finish. So I had mileage countdown, and I flipped to my navigation screen just to kind of see what the road was going to do ahead of me on this descent. So not a bad idea to kind of, if you have the technology to use it. This one here, I think I slowed down a little bit on. I think everyone else caught me there. I was probably the only one that slowed down there. But this is, yeah. This is some the Paris-Roubaix of NorCal for sure. I think the P12s did they did 4 laps. 3 was plenty. I would have been good with 2 actually, but anyway. So there's Jason. So you got 3 guys come around me, but we're almost at the bottom, so not too worried. I think I might even pass him again because I might be heavier than these guys. I mean, I know I get down pretty low, pretty arrow, but these guys are mobbing. And we're covering some ground right here. Still got some questionable pavement. And then I just had some momentum, so I figured I'll just gap these guys off. It's not like I'm going to stay away. I would have liked to, but no. You'll see the climbs. The big climb on the front side. But I'm just kind of soft pedaling. We'll let it back on here. So you'll see you kind of come through these rollers. So in the distance you see the kind of clump of trees. It looks like straight ahead. That's actually where the finish line is. But it kind of dips down and it pitches back up to it. So here's 1K to go to the finish line. But again, we still have another lap to do. It was pretty bumpy all through here. That might have been... I think he was having shifter problems. I think it might have been a 35 plus third guy. But we're still kind of rumbling down. So you can see those trees kind of almost straight ahead. That's kind of where the road kind of kicks back up, and that's the actual finish line. So you can carry a ton of speed down, and then it might be a little 300-meter riser, but you're, hopefully going 45, 50 miles an hour, maybe, into it. So here's the 200-meter to go sign right there. And that guy's not in our field. I just kind of roll past him. So we obviously have more momentum. Just kind of roll past. And then, so there's the awning right up there is the start finish. So we hear that little bell ring, get a little bell lap action coming up here. Come on, Carlos, ring that bell. Ring it. Ring it. There it is. Okay. So this is bell lap. And it kind of still goes downhill, kind of all the way back to kind of the starting line. I think I'm eating some gels here. I did pretty good on the fueling side. I drank a 500 ml bottle. Got it finished before the race started, and I took 2 with me, and I used SIS beta fuel and SIS what's it? SIS Go. It's an electrolyte powder, in my water. And so I put a scoop in each of those 3 bottles, and I split up the two packets of the SIS beta fuel amongst 3 bottles. And so I drank one, I got the other 2 here, and then I had some SIS gels caffeinated as well as the electrolytes. So I think I ended up eating maybe 4 or 5 gels. I grabbed a bottle in the neutral or in the feed zone. Coming up, you can see one of my teammates, Richard. He got popped off, so he went back to the feed zone, and he hooked me up because I was getting pretty cooked here. Um, so this is kind of the main road through quote unquote town. Anyway, where we parked our cars, you can see all the cars parked here, and that's kind of where we rolled out neutral for the start, and then we'll take a left and we'll go up towards that reservoir, that lake, where the climb is to climb up to get above the dam, above the lake, I guess. But just kind of dip off, and it's like when you turn off here, I kind of like, wait a second, is this like someone's driveway or is this a road? And there was another part where we went through a farm, or I thought the same thing. This is kind of definitely a good day to wear gloves with a little bit of padding. It just vibrated this road so bad. And then there were some bees. I freaking hate bees. Like, I am afraid of bees. They sting me. I don't go into anaphylactic shock. I would swell up, and it just feels like hot lava coursing through my veins. So I try to avoid the bees. I think they're hidden on the left by my little rear view there. But as soon as I see them kind of buzzing around, that was a burp. That was me. Got that guy's attention. Yeah, I think he might have been over this bridge. I get low, man. I don't want any bees getting my helmet. Just kind of rolling through here, and I think maybe Jason takes a little flyer right here. That opens up a little gap. Yeah. That wasn't Jason. I'm trying to remember. This was not a super long day. Left the house at 5 a.m. Had Richard and George meet here, and we drove up. About a 2-hour drive, and it's about due east of Stockton, I guess, if you had to look at it on a map. If you know where Stockton, California is, due east of that, maybe 20 miles. It's kind of the foothills to the Sierras, Calaveras County. It actually is. I think this is the B section, one of those little guardrail areas. So then we'll roll through here. It's a little downhill, and then we'll kind of hit the first little climb in the feed zone coming up. So I got a Pete's guy in front of me. I think we're just letting... Can't remember who's off the front. We'll find out, because they don't stay off the front. But we're rumbling through here pretty good. But I think there's one of our guys, 45 plus guys up there. And I thought it was Jason that was up there, Gray Fab, but that might be. I don't see him in the rear view. You see, third wheel behind me is Ariel. I think Herman's last name, maybe, with the full Captain America road suit. So he was 35 plus. So if he got away, or one of the 35 guys got up the road, I was cool with it. But then a 45 guy chases, and then you have to kind of chase, because if they do get away, then you got 2 guys working together, kind of open it up. And so I wanted to kind of keep that from happening. forgot how long this section was. Yeah, I think that sign right there is one of the Velo promo signs, like feed zone ahead. It's starting to kind of kick up here. You see our pace is slowing. And this isn't our guy in front of us, but you can see just up the road from him is one of the Thirsty Bear guys. So here's where do you just, like, are you really neutral? Is that for me? Wasn't sure, but the CBRE team, they said, hey, we'll have water for you if you need it. Just come through the feed zone and we'll be there. But I see my dude up here, Richard, right there. Thank you, brother. Boom. He said, you want water or do you want nutrition? And I said nutrition. I actually wanted both, but I could only grab one. So it was a big bottle though, and it was a lot more diluted than the nutrition I had in my bottle, so it was a lot closer to water than what I had been drinking. And so yeah, I think that's up on the horizon. There is the Thirsty Bear guy. I figure I can bring him back on the climb. I probably should have sat in a little bit more because I got countered pretty good here at the top of this climb. Not cool. I mean, it was cool. Cool for him. But you'll see it. I don't know. No spoilers. So yeah, so I got some crap. You know, I raced Cantua Creek last Saturday, road race, and I didn't run cameras, and I won the race. Like, come on, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, the weight of the cameras, you know, the GoPro Hero 8s or 9s or whatever I have. I think I googled, they're like 230 grams each or something with battery. So I think I figured it was like a half a pound. Man, I'll run them on this one. And fortunately, they didn't fall off the bike because I thought if there couldn't be a worse race to try to put cameras on your bike than this one because it was so stupid bumpy. But they stayed on because you're watching it now in my living room with me on this hot laptop that's just making my legs sweat. But that's what I do for the channel, folks. Trying to get those subscribers. I don't know why. I just think it's cool. I get a lot of views on the videos, but I guess I just want to impress my kids. You know, I got teenage daughters, and how many subscribers do you have, Dad? And I'm like, I don't know, 560, something like that. Oh, well, PewDiePie has 17 million or something. I'm like, well, I don't know who or what that is, but I'm a niche market, right? Like, people want to watch bike racing. I like to race the bike. I like to watch the videos. I like to share the love. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing here. So yeah, I did a good job of controlling the pace on the front, because I kind of pulled up this whole hill. I probably shouldn't have, but it wasn't a terrible idea. I figure I can push the pace this way and can slow the pace this way until they come around me. But I knew I was going to catch a guy, so I kind of backed off a little bit, just left him there a little bit because I figured once I closed that, then someone might come around me. And so this is me kind of actually recovering on the front, if that's even a thing. Can you recover on the front? Well, I'm trying to on the climb. The other benefit of creating a route and loading it on your Garmin, at least on my Garmin, I think Wahoo has it probably too, but it has this thing called Climb Pro, and it shows you every climb coming up. It tells you how far it is till the start. It shows you a little graph and how far to the top in distance and elevation. So that was pretty helpful here, because this had kind of 2 or 3 little stair steps on it where you kind of go because you think it's the top, and then it levels off and there's more. And so this kind of kept me from going into the red too much. But here's one of those where it kind of levels off, and you think you're done, but there's actually a little more climb in here. This is a good little, I think it's a little 900-foot climb, maybe 1,000 feet. I don't know. Let's see what the was 4,000. It wasn't super a lot of climbing. It was just kind of punchy stuff that if you're riding on your own, you just kind of spin up it. But when you're trying to set a pace or keep someone else's pace, it get pretty tiring. I'm gonna pop open my Strava to see what the, yeah, it was just about 5,000 feet of climbing in 64.5 miles. So whatever that is a lap, 5,000 divided by 3. 1,700, something like that, 16, whatever. So there, I passed him. I got this Pete's guy on my wheel. I think it really kind of kicked up here at the very end. I don't like coming out of the saddle, but I have to climb out of the saddle. I just like to sit down and make power. Same with sprinting. If I could just stay seated, good, but a low battery warning. Let's go ahead and plug this in while we're talking so I don't lose the recording. There we go. We're good. Saved it. Another little climb here. And it's super strung out. This might have been where George yells, "Mark!"
Mike!
Motor rough trying to get through. There's our dude. Yeah, I ran an 1128 and 5336 front chain rings, and I used my small ring a little bit. Just kind of saved my legs. This was grinding a little bit too much in the 5328, but the bike shifted good. I rode the Tarmac, the S-Works Tarmac, was it the SL6? Not the newest generation, the one before. And then, you know, we're almost to the top here, and man, Pete comes up, and like he shot out of a cannon, and just boom. Maybe not quite yet, but just watch the rear view, what happens here. Are we through the climb? I think we might be. Now it's just kind of undulating, little kind of roller stuff. The wind actually wasn't terrible. I thought it was going to be super windy driving out. So a bunch of flags blowing, but it's pretty calm. But I could see where this could get super windy. Kind of had like trying to remember where this attack happens. So again, this is the third and final lap. We're almost to the top of that first big climb. And we got some just kind of roller action, and then a little kicker before the kind of big descent into the finish. Yeah, I think it kicks up right around this corner here too. But I'm eating wind and watch it. Here he comes. You see him? Is that a Pete's guy? I think that's him. I think that's Dan. Because when he goes, I'm not going yet. He's close enough, you know, get a good attack in 3 or 4 wheels back. We're kind of just rolling up to this little canyon here. This little drainage from that little reservoir lake. Make this stupid climb end already. Not yet. Still climbing. There he comes right now. Peeks up. Does he drop back again? I think he goes right there. Well, that's not how I remembered it. Maybe he kind of gets us over this climb, files back, and then goes. But yeah, we're just churning up. This is steep right here. This might have been 11, 12%. I don't know. I'm kind of just straddling these guys on each side just to kind of, so no one shoots up and pushes the pace any higher, honestly. I think that might have been, that beep is my Garmin, that little Climb Pro screen. Get beeps when you're almost to the top. It's kind of nice to follow a wheel up through here instead of having to set the pace. So this is this climb was definitely hard, and it was early in the course too. Like, if you weren't warm and your group kind of took off fast, you get popped off the back on the first 4 miles of the race. So he kind of backs off there. So kind of pushing the pace. See him kind of file back in there. Let's just set up his attack. There's a thirsty bear guy in front of me. This is Piers. I don't remember what. I think that's Pierce in front of me. Piers Berry. I think it's his name. So I think I remember the neon shoes I recognized. And the black bike. So I'll dial it back. There's some lap riders. We're almost to the top. Wait for this little sneaky attack right here. I mean, it's well timed. I should just. Wait for it. It's the third wheel behind me, behind Ariel there. Stars, white stars on this blue sleeves there. There's one more little roller before we kind of pop up out the top. Yep. So you can kind of see the top on the horizon. Well, Garmin beep. Yeah. Gotta pull over to clear my nose there. This is like the radio tent. And then look at this tack. That's Dan Bryant. And bye-bye. And then Jason goes to chase him. Then he does. Kind of pulls off for me. And I'm like, come on, man. Got 7 thirsty bears up here and I'm by myself. Jason. The guy won world in the TT. I said, why are you telling me? He gets pissed off. So then I don't know if he's trying to bridge up to him or what, but he doesn't. You know, when he went, I thought, like, I knew that guy was strong, and I just didn't want to risk trying to bridge up to him, because if I ended up bringing him back, then everyone behind me is fresh, and I'm not going to have time to recover, and I'm going to script the finish. So I figure let one of these guys with teams bring back. And here's my homie, the younger, faster version of Tyler Yonke in front of me here. He put in some digs with me. It was good. He's a good rider. I thought he won the 35s, but he actually just gets nipped at the line. I have a video of it. So then we kind of blow past Jason. I take another dig. And, I mean, you can barely see him. Look at, he's just a speck on the horizon. And I drag the whole field around to bring him back. Spoiler alert, no I don't. So Dan stays away. And I don't know, he's like the TT guy. And I think he played his cards really well, because he seemed like he had really good fitness. I mean, look at, he's vaporized into thin air. He's way up there. And I'm going pretty hard. But when you hear free hub, there we go. So I just said screw it. So I'm cutting now. This is the last climb before the final descent coming up here. I don't know what happened to our, I think our picture-in-picture will come back here in a second. So there's Ariel. I think that's Piers in front of me. There's the picture-in-picture. So I think we split our field, actually, because there's a lot more of us, and I think there's only 7 of us now chasing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8. And I think 2 were 35 plus. So we're racing for second place right now in the 45s. Thirsty Bear guy in front of me is 45. I'm 45. And And then the 235 guys behind me, Ariel, and I think his name's Steven or Stefan, commented on Strava to him, but I didn't talk to him after the race. 3, 4. And this is that last climb, and we're always going hard. There's a headwind up this thing too, so we're all seated, kind of, and he's just pouring on the coals up this thing. And you can see we're separated now. There's just 4 of us. We kind of split our selection again. And they're kind of just gapped off now. So there's now 4 of us, and we're coming up to the top of the climb. Teammate Jeff Qualley has done this race a lot. He gave me kind of cliff notes on kind of how to race it, what to expect, where to go, and he's a crazy fast descender, so I'm sure he probably thought, oh, you just get away from him on the descent, and if you get a gap, you can just stay away. But I wasn't able to get a gap. Maybe I didn't counter hard enough here, but there's the top on the horizon, and then it's just a big long descent, bumpy descent from hell. But I'm breathing pretty good here. Well, my heart rate's down. Put the power overlays in after your voice. We're huffing and puffing and climbing. And we're almost to the top. And I think I kind of... Did I gas it here? That was a... Yeah, and I give a little bit into the descent. Pierce kind of pulls off. And now it's just like kamikaze go for broke. And hopefully you don't break. Or not the brakes on your bike. This is definitely the test. Like I said, the GoPro, the image stabilization on does not do the bumpiness of this road justice, but your hands are just numb from the vibrations through here. I got some of these little rollers I could maybe pedal away a little bit too, but so again, there's me and the 3 guys behind us, the 235 plus, and then the Piers, the guy without, not the Stars and Stripes Thirsty Bear, the other Thirsty Bear is 45 with me. And there's just little sections of road that you can kind of rest your hands on, because it turns back into this. Like, yeah, can't be resting my wrists on this. I had to hop something here too. Big pothole that just kind of suck the bike up under you. So I'm first through the descent, but I don't think I was putting out much power. I don't know. I'd rather see clearly in front of me on this thing than, follow someone through it and them dictate the line. Whew, we got going here. I swear, like, the steeper it gets, the bumpier it gets too. It's at least it seemed that way. But we're probably 4 minutes left on this descent, maybe 3 minutes to the finish. And I got a good gap going, so if I'd have spun my cranks like Sensei Jeff Qualley told me, I might have been able to keep this gap open because they definitely opened it up there. I mean, they're not getting any draft off me. I'm gonna come around this guy. You can see he's just reeling me back in. I was more concerned about saving enough legs for that last little kick than to try to get away here. I felt like I had pretty good fitness compared to my competition in this break. I mean, he put a big dig in up that last hill. I don't know. I mean, it was good because it split the field. Got the four of us away. Skr, skr, skr. And so, yeah, I started these cameras just about freaking literally 3 minutes too soon. Because I think I lose my... about to lose my rear camera. The battery goes on it pretty soon. But we're almost down to the bottom of this descent. And it's just bumpy through there. It's just, that is just bumpy. Bumpy, bumpy. But we're all pretty much together here now. And let's see, there goes the rear view. So now I just got the front camera. This battery's on fumes. And I think this gets us down to the 1K sign. And then I got my teammates' video of how it came across the finish line. But at some point you'll hear free hub, and I'm like, I don't want to tow these guys all the way to the line, so I'd rather slot in here. So at some point I'll ease up and here they come through. I just kind of slot in fourth wheel here. I think the 1K sign is right up here. Right past that moto maybe. There's a good little crosswind going too. So it's kind of a right to left crosswind as it approaches the finish. So again, the finish is those trees. There's the 1K. And we'll fast forward to the finish. I just set third wheel. And these two guys came around the Thirsty Bear guy, and I just stayed on their wheel. And since I wasn't really racing them, I kind of sat up here. So they're sprinting. I kind of clear my nose there and just kind of coast across. So I got second. And then Piers Berry, Thirsty Bear gets third. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. And check out our dope podium pick. I'm trying to get low for that second place vibe. But good times. Good race. Thanks, guys.